had 7 outings where he's given 2 runs or less. And then he's had, I think it's 5 or 6 runs or more. Where's the denominator where you say when he's good he's this and when he's not he's that?
Giving up slug, not giving up slug, and when he gives up the slug, he's walked a couple guys before that, and it becomes a crooked number instead of solo shots. And I think that's the main thing. He's got good stuff. He'll throw 97 miles an hour. The changeup is still a work in progress. Changing eye levels is still a work in progress. The slider shape, backdoor or back foot is still a work in progress. He's developing. And you'll see some really good starts. You'll see some tough starts. That's just where he's at in his career, and that's okay. We feel highly enough about him to keep throwing him out there every 5th day because I think developing up here does have its benefits moving forward.
You have the rotation of like Bride, Berger, and then Rivera kind of with the DH, first base, third. An instance, let's say like tonight, do you take into account too the type of pitcher, the likelihood of ground ball? Like, how do you decide when, let's say, one of them's going to be first and one's third?
Yeah, a lot of it is the ground balls. I think Rivera is, any ball hit to him is going to be caught. And I like all of them, honestly, over there. But Rivera does catch the ball really well, especially right to him. And I like to give Berger days off his feet. If you look at the numbers after an off day or as a DH and then playing the next day, he's pretty dang good. So, he's a big boy, and so giving him a little bit of break. He hasn't played this many games in a row besides last year. I take that in consideration as well. Honestly, I focus around Berger more than anybody, making sure he is okay and good. That doesn't take away from anybody else, don't get me wrong, but I do make sure, because of his injury history, that he feels good every single day, and I feel like that DH does help him. And then Bride, I can't get him out of the lineup. It's just, he's been really, really good in the middle, and I think he's playing a really good first base. I think he can play third, don't get me wrong, but he's been really valuable, I think, at first base so far.
Skip, let's talk about Derek Hill and what you've seen so far of him. What do you like about Derek Hill? I know he's a veteran player as well.
Well, it's been early so far. I like the skill set. I think he can actually be more aggressive on the base pass. He's got good speed. He had a stolen base yesterday. Trusting his instincts, going first and third, ball and dirt reads, just take a chance because I think he is a little passive with the speed that he has, and maybe different organizations have valued different things. I don't really know, but I think he's going to be much better on the bases than maybe what he's shown. He's got some real power. I just think cutting down on the strikeouts are going to be key for him in his career. And I think he can play a really good outfield, all 3 spots. So there's a lot of things to like about him. If he adjusts a little bit in certain areas, he could be a very nice player.
Berger has the highest slugging percentage of anyone in baseball so far in the second half. Just, obviously, we've mentioned before, even spring training, he seemed a bit off. What have you noticed? What is it about maybe the last month or so that...
Well, there's things that have been going on that, he's changed and not only mechanically but physically and mentally as well, that he's pushed through, and I'm really proud of what he has pushed through. And I think that people don't really understand the mental side of this game unless you are really in the grind of it. And there's other things, besides just being in the box that in your life that are tough to battle through, right? And so I think he made really good adjustments, staying behind the ball. You see his takes; they're not lunging out in front anymore and kind of swiping at the slider like he's backing up the baseball. He's hitting it to all fields, base hit, line drives the opposite way, and then obviously the pull slug has been phenomenal. So, this is what we saw in the second half last year is this version of him, and I think this is. I don't think you've heard this before. You're never as bad as you think you are. You're never as good as you think you are. I think he's a 30 home run threat every single year, and probably going to hit 40 one day because of just how good of a power hitter he is. And he's so young in his major league career. That's the thing is, I know what his age is, but in his major league career, he's very young, so he's still adjusting to this league. And when you see the second half against really good teams, that he's trending the right way, that shows how good of a hitter he is.
You faced Walter back in San Diego. How are you looking to attack this time around compared to that?
Man, he's tough. I don't think the league's figured out how to hit that knuckleball. It's tough to replicate that in the cage. Usually you have pitch characteristics and extension and all the other stuff that are lined up with foam balls and whatever you're doing in the cage, along with the mechanics of your swing. I don't really know how to do this. We've thought about different ways to try to do stuff, but he also has a 90-plus fastball that looks like 100 when he's after a bunch of those knuckleballs, and he also has other secondary pitches. So it's challenging, no doubt about it. I faced Tim Wakefield years ago. It's not easy to face, but I think there's ways that we're going to have to try to get the ball in the air, see it up. That's the biggest thing. And then on the base pass, we have to be ready for the pass ball or ball in the dirt, that type of thing. Because that thing it's tough to hit. It's also tough to catch. So we have to be ready whenever we can to take that extra base.
Skip, the last time I saw Xavier Edwards, he hit for the cycle in Milwaukee. What have you been able to get out of him in the time that you've seen him? He looks like a very electric player, a lot of energy.
Well, I'm glad you're back then. Should we? Maybe he'll do it again today.
Thank you.
He's righty lefty. He's been really, really good. I think we've talked about this before. We don't talk about his defense anymore, which is great. Because you don't want to talk about a shortstop's defense unless they're great plays. He's been making all the routine plays. I think his instincts are starting to take over. He's slowing down the game. I think there's always going to be work to do, and that's going to continue. But I mean, he's a threat on the base pass. He can bunt. He's hitting for a little more pop, all directions of the field. He's just a nice player. Takes really good at bats.
Thanks, Skip.
All right.